Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Troy Hardy. I'm with the Auckland Rugby League, and we are live today down at the home of the Papakura Sea Eagles. And with me is Calvin Wright. Got that right? Okay, cool. With Calvin, and he's the head coach of the Papakura Sea Eagles. And Calvin, coming on midstream, halfway through the season, how tough's that been for you for the taking on the Premiers?
Oh yeah, it hasn't been too tough. Got a great bunch of guys down here. It's probably been tougher for the players having changing some structures, and so they're learning, and we're just looking to get better each week.
Mate, and in regards to today's game, it's 5 playing 6. Fair to say that probably Northcote, got a bit of momentum in regards to kicking their season off with a win against the champions. Has that played any part in the thinking with the boys today in regards to coming out against them?
Nah, not at all. It was a long time ago. I mean, I wasn't even here then, so we haven't addressed that at all. But in saying that, I'm sure the boys that did play that day probably have in the back of their mind they'd like to get one back.
And mate, in regards to the squad, I understand there's been a wee bit of player movement as well. Have you got the group of guys, coming into, I suppose, deep into the second round, sickness, injuries, and what have you? How's the squad looking, and have you got the team that you wanted to pick today?
Yeah, I mean, get the team every week. It's like I said, the guys that run out today deserve to be there. So there's always injuries and sickness and things happen, but whoever pulls the jersey on, they'll do a good job.
And mate, in the time that you've been here, who's looking like going to be the standout player for you today? Who's going to be the strike weapon for the Sea Eagles?
Oh, it's hard to say. I'd like to think I love Zion up front. He's a great front row, and he always leads from the front. But Roman Hefo, of course, he's the inspirational leader, and it's his 150th game for the club today too. Okay. So I'm sure he'll be looking for a big one.
With Roman's 150th, is that a big part in the boys' psyche today as well, wanting to turn one on for him?
Oh, I hope so. We've mentioned it to the players, and just what he leaves on the field each week. I think he leads by example. So I just want the other players to follow in his footsteps and make sure they leave it all out there. And
in regards to today's game, mate, how important is it to get the W?
That's all that matters. That's why you play.
Yeah. Great answer, great answer. Just making sure I've covered a few of my notes here. In regards to going up against the Tigers today, what's the strategy to try and beat them?
Oh, I've been working really hard with the team about having some patience. So, just completing our sets and working our way into games and having some patience, because we've got some really good strike power, but it's just key that we don't try and score off every set, that we build some pressure.
Awesome. Look, mate, I want to thank you for your time. I know that we've sort of kidnapped you before you start warming up. What we're going to do now is we're going to get ready to throw across to Corey, and Corey's going to have a chat to the head coach from the Northcote Tigers. And if, as far as the Auckland Rugby League's concerned, mate, congratulations in regards to the role, but more importantly, best of luck for the rest of the season.
Cheers, thanks a lot.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to get hold of Corey now, and as we get ready for that, stay with us. The live stream's coming to you via the Auckland Rugby League website, aucklandleague.co.nz. And please share, like, get the family and friends in as we now get ready for Big Jeff and little Corey, and we get ready to throw across.
Thank you, Troy. And here we are joined now by Jeff Morden from the Northcote Tigers. And Jeff, I guess the first one to start with, fantastic result for you guys last week, beating the Howard Hornets, mate. How did it all go down?
Boys just played to the systems we've been working really hard on all year. They're believing in the defence, and that was the key to it. Back into the second half, we completed 14 sets on the bounce. So doing that to a team and turning them around all day, you're going to win a lot of football games. So, no, I'm very pleased.
It's obviously been a lot of hard work to get to where you are now. Are you kind of at the stage of the season where you thought you would be in terms of your development as a team and where you want to be with your goals?
Yeah, look, we had high expectations. We probably haven't quite got to where we wanted to get to. The whole aim of the season is to make that top 4. It probably looks like it's not going to happen. Well, no, it's not going to happen this year. But we've got ourselves in a situation where we're playing some good footy. We're starting to get a bit of confidence. We're starting to believe in what we're doing, and it's starting to show. That's it. Touch wood. It continues today, but the last 4 or 5 or 6 weeks have been very, very good.
You've obviously sort of, I guess, by default become the kind of thorn in the side for a number of teams this year. You've beat a number of those top sides. It's a pretty nice thing for your team to kind of be renowned as one that gets up for these kind of ones that maybe some people don't expect you to win, but you're able to get up for them and put in great performances.
We've got, like I said, the core of the team. We've got about 25 players probably now that we're happy with at top side level. Yeah, we are. They're playing as I expect them to play. You know, they've got themselves to that level now where we don't go into a game thinking we may be able to win it. We believe in that we can win it, and it's making a hell of a difference. As I said, defence has been the big thing. We've worked extremely hard on our D probably for the last 10 weeks or so, you know, in particular, probably more than we do on attack. And it's showing. They're backing themselves in D, which is good.
The health of the squad, I guess, always a concern at this time of the year. How are you guys looking?
Oh, you're always carrying players at this end of the year, mate. You know, they're at the point where they're sort of seeing the goalpost at the end of the season there, and they're thinking 3 more games we can get through it. You know, we've got a couple of guys that are carrying. So it is what it is.
Interesting matchup today. You obviously beat Papakura earlier in the round, which was one that really kick-started your guys' strong second round. What are you expecting from the Sea Eagles today?
They're a good side. They've got some very, very good footballers in there. We give them opportunities. They will take them. So we've got to be very strong about what we're doing. We've got to make sure that our defensive side of the game is very strong. We're completing our sets, getting to our kicks, getting our chase sorted. You know, just all the little things. Get them right, and then we're in with a sniff.
In terms of the remainder of the season, you mentioned, you know, the top 4 probably out of reach now, but what do you want to see from your team? Is it just a matter of keeping on doing the things that you've been doing through the second round? Is that what you want?
They've set themselves some targets of trying to get through, have a very successful second round. We're on target to do that at the minute. That could go pear-shaped very quickly. So it's one game at a time. You know, Kura this week, and we'll worry about next week. But yeah, they've set themselves some goals, and that's where they're trying to hit. So it's good.
Excellent. Thanks for joining us, Jeff, and all the best for today.
Cheers. Thanks very much.
Now we're going to throw over to Troy, who's going to have a quick chat to Bill, the chairman from the Papakura Sea Eagles. So we will now hand over to Troy.
Thanks, Corey. Have a seat here, Bill. And you can hear all the grunts and groans as the big fellas get into the chairs.
The small chairs.
So I'd like to thank Bill for his time. Chairman of the Papakura Sea Eagles now gets to join us, and I think these things are important in regards to, you know, the chairman's view and what's happening at the club. Ground's looking spectacular, mate. I think, you know, it's in great shape, and the club's also looking tidy as well. If we turn our attention to the club, let's talk a wee bit about what's happening there, mate, and what goes on tonight. And, you know.
We've teamed up with Bowel Cancer New Zealand to do a fundraiser, and we'll be presenting the cheque tonight in the club rooms. So please all come down and donate as much as you can, please, because the buckets will be going around during the main game. And we've got, of course, Roman Hefo's 150th game, so that's a big occasion for the club. He's been a great steward of ours, and hopefully he'll stay on for a few more seasons.
For another 150.
Yeah, another 150, yes.
Mate, in regards to the fundraising that you've been doing, this isn't the only year that you've done it. So tell us a little bit about how the club's got involved with that.
Last year we decided we'd run a dinner, and we had auction items and all sorts, and we looked around for a good cause, and we sort of decided on bowel cancer because it was it's not a one that's common that you get called on. Yeah, I know the diseases, but
yeah.
but the core, you know, the people, it's very low key. So we decided we'd see if we could just help them along and raise a few funds. Yeah.
Awesome. Mate, turning our attention to the club and, you know, playing strength, grades and what have you. Let's talk about, you know, you've got a very strong women in league team here, but also grades. You know, can you talk to us about, you know, your junior footballers, you know, and what the pathway looks like to get through to the Prems?
Sure. We're a bit short in the 15s to 20s, and we need, that's a very big concern of the club, so we are going to concentrate on that in the coming season. Next year, and but we want to have closer relationships with the schools, which we do with Papakura High School, we do with Wesley, and we do with Alphaston. So that's sort of we're going to have to look at doing a lot more in that area. Women in league, we've got to always have a strong women's league side, and we love them at the club here. It's they're fantastic. We've got open age restricted, and we did have some senior B side or senior Prem 2 sides, but which we will have again next year. But other than that, we're a bit light on numbers. We've struggled a bit this year, and we've had a lot of injuries in our Prem side. We had about 10, I think, major injuries, so that sort of kept us a little bit light. But we're running 5th. We hope we'll stay at 5th.
Well, mate, in regards to, I guess, the junior football, you also, I'm told, you got restricted grades as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so just for the mums and dads out there, if you're living in the area and you're wanting, your children to come and play rugby league, they got good infrastructure down here. You got pretty good coaches and what have you. Come down, let them play. Contact Bill or one of Nicole at the club. You can see them on the Facebook or their website, and I'm pretty sure and pretty confident that there's a number of opportunities down here to come and play football. One of the other things I wanted to ask you about was, as a chairman,
Yes.
and the senior committee, this big question.
Yep.
We're sort of deep into the second round, mate, and in regards to being the defending champions of the SAS Fox,
Yes.
are you happy with where the boys are at?
No. No, but we have a number of reasons for that, which we are addressing as a club, especially our boarders, and you'll see us as a different side next year.
Okay, and talking about next year, one of the things I did want to ask you was after-school programs and more around academies. If we can talk to what you have planned for that, what's the strategy?
Well, we did have a creche running at the club for a number of months, but it's just getting volunteers. It was very hard to do, but we want to be more proactive in the social area within the club, within the community. The Papakura community, get our name out there as a caring club, and to be fair, the bowel cancer is the start of it. So yeah.
Cool, mate. And in regards to back on the playing piece in regards to the academy, what was the thinking that you had behind that?
Yeah, we want to form an academy team with our youngest junior side, and give them a bit of TLC and a good coaching, and just generally look after them a bit better than we've been doing. So that's in trial now. We have a very strong junior committee. That's the strength of the club at the moment. So yeah, we're rebuilding a little bit, to be fair.
You sort of alluded to, plans for the Sea Eagles for next year, and look, and there's been player movements for the Prems this year. There's also been a head coach change. What have you sort of got planned for the future, to entice other senior players, Prem players, to come and join the Papakura Sea Eagles?
Well, as soon as we appoint our coach for the Prems next year, them and the reserve grade coach, we will then go and try to target some players that we require. Because
what are their names, Bill?
no, I don't know that. I don't know that because I'm not privy to it. But we need to. You need to bring a couple of players in every. We can't get them out of the area, so we'll either get it from rugby union. We've got a few players running around our reserves from rugby union, so it's not only from other league clubs, but we will actively chase some rugby players.
Bill, and finally, mate, we know that volunteers, we know that supporters of the club are very, very important. But how important are sponsors to you and the Papakura Sea Eagles?
We couldn't function without the sponsors, Manaia Homes and Burnside Brothers, Mitchell Varangies, and they go on. It's just, the club couldn't function without them. It's important. It's so hard to get money these days. We're going to have to think outside the square to keep our young ones coming and coming into the club and to the rugby league, to be fair. We've got to start thinking a little bit more strategic, I suppose, and see what they want instead of sort of giving them what we think.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean?
Like an Xbox.
Yeah.
Mate, in regards to, your two key sponsors, Burnside Bros and Mania Homes, what do they provide as a service, just so, we can give them a bit of shout out and a bit of love?
Yeah, Mania Homes is a manufacturer of homes, of course, and they build homes, and they do a lot over in the Cracker side of the motorway. Burnside Brothers are an old established firm that sells builders supplies and hardware. So, and they're based in Papakura. Yeah, so they've been around a long time, many years.
So big shout to them, and on behalf of the club, we appreciate the support and everything that you do for the Papakura Seagulls. Bill, I know that you're busy today hosting, for the live league match. I want to thank you for your time, and is there anything else that you'd like to share with us?
Just get down to the game. It's going to be a great game. The Tigers knocked us off last round, so we're keen to give them a kicking, hopefully. But I don't know whether that will happen, but we've got a good enough side to win today, so that's good.
Thanks very much for your time, Bill, and we're going to get ready now for Corey to come back and join us as Big Bill gets ready for hosting the rest of the day. Don't forget, we're live league streaming on the aucklandleague.co.nz, and our splash screen is back up as Bill answers his phone and gets back on the hammer, and Corey gets ready now to join us, and we're back.
Thank you, Troy, and great to hear from Bill there about some of the things going on at the club. And of course, it is a big day today. Outside of the live streamed match, the Papakura Seagulls are hosting their bowel cancer awareness fundraiser today. So people being encouraged to wear green down to the game today, and a big fundraiser going on. Donations welcome. So if you are down at the game, get to the club there and give a donation, as well as wearing your green shirts today.
And if you've just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. We're live down at Papakura Seagulls. We're just seeing the last few moments of the reserves match being played out there as we get ready. And I'll just go back to Corey in regards to, you've covered off the bell cancer.
Yeah, that's right. And just to add, I guess, a fantastic initiative from the club here to do stuff like this. And of course, rugby league is more than a game when you do stuff like this. So a big shout out to the team at the Papakura Seagulls for their excellent promotion around this one. Obviously tying it in with the live stream game. Lots of people down here already today at Prince Edward Park. So a big shout out to all of those involved in that one ahead of what does promise to be a good match here as we have a look at some of the reserve grade action. And at this stage we do have the Northcote Tigers, and the siren's gone in the background, so the Northcote Tigers have got up for a win in that one.
Well, that little breakaway there was actually the Prems just walking up, working out in the back there, Corey. And as we get ourselves nice and orderly into a great fashion here, getting ready to present the live stream match with Northcote up against the Papakura Seagulls. And did you know, Corey, that Kurt Sorensen played for Northcote back in the mid-80s? So a big shout out to the legend in the game, Kurt Sorensen, and I've managed to slip that one in early.
Yeah, that's right. That's a record for the timing on that one, Troy. But a big shout out to Kurt. If you was watching, of course, all our fans over in Australia as well, we'll now just take you through some of the results from last week in the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership, starting with the Northcote Tigers getting up for a huge win over the Howick Hornets, 14 points to 6. Of course, Howick flying at the top of the ladder.
And that would have been a big shock win for them, and I think they're going to come into this game with a wee bit of momentum.
Yeah, absolutely fair to say on that one. And the other result, another big one at the other end of the table, albeit the Mangere East Hawks getting up 34-18 over the Richmond Bulldogs. That one jumping them ahead of the Teleta Roosters at the bottom of the ladder.
And it was important that they got that win, and that's sort of changing the toing and froing at the bottom of the ladder, Corey. And I think the Mangere East Hawk fans, who are sponsored by Burger King, will be absolutely stoked with that one.
Yeah, and a huge game out at Jack Colvin Park today, Troy, between the Teleta Roosters and Mangere East Hawks. That one potentially decides who is going to remain in the Fox for next year. And just running you through those final results before we have a look at the ladder. Glenora getting up for a huge win over Mount Albert, 18 points to 10. They retain the Conaka Minolta Root Rooster in that one as well. Papakura, our host team today, getting up 18-12 over the Teleta Roosters. And Point Chevalier, 44 points to 4, winners out at Murray Halberg Park. So now a little look at the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership ladder. after 15 games, of course, into round 16 of the competition now. And at the top, it's a familiar face, the Point Chevalier Pirates, 26 points, just the 2 losses this year. They're followed by the Glenora Bears and the Howick Hornets. Glenora putting a bit of space between themselves and the Hornets with that good win last week over Mount Albert. That leaves Howick 1 point ahead of Mount Albert. Mount Albert currently sitting in 4th, occupying that last playoff place. And Papakura, well, mathematically they are still in with a shot of making the playoffs. It does look unlikely at this stage, but that would have to start with a win today. I think they would have to win all 3 of their remaining games to have any chance. They're followed on the ladder by their rivals today, the Northcote Tigers, who have had an excellent season, particularly a great second round, picking up a number of victories. They sit on 13 points via 6 wins and a draw. And rounding out the bottom 4 teams on the ladder, the Marist Saints, the Richmond Bulldogs, and at the bottom, we mentioned it earlier, that battle for survival, the Mangere East Hawks currently sitting on 6 points, followed by the Te Atatu Roosters on 5 points. And now going to hand over to Troy, who's going to take us through some of the second division results from the Crown Lift Trucks Sharman Cup.
Yeah, just quickly on that, guys, I'm going to have a quick look at the last week's roundout. Bay Roskill Vikings 114 points to Papatoe, so obviously there was a few extra converted goals there. In regards to Manurewa Marlins, they were at 82 points versus the Ellerslie Eagles at 6. Otara Scorps were 42 points up against Newland Stags at 18. And the big clash that weekend was the Ponsonby Ponies going down. They scored 16 points to Otahu Leopards 26. Just having a quick look at the ladder there in the Crown Lift Trucks Sharman Cup. Otahu Leopards still on top. Otara Scorpions in 2. Bay Roskill Vikings are 3. Ponsonby Ponies round out the top 4 in 4th position. And then down from there, we've got in 5th position Manurewa Marlins, 6th is Newland Stags, number 7 Papatoe Panthers, and number 8 is the Ellerslie Eagles.
Yeah,
this weekend, sorry mate.
Just going to say, Troy, plenty to like in that competition this year as well, particularly the battle at the top, obviously with Otahu playing in that second division for the first time. So, yeah, plenty to like, and understand there's some pretty good matchups on this weekend as well, Troy.
Yeah, big clash, I'd say, for the Crown Lift Sharman Cup trucks. Sharman Cup trucks, Sharman Cup. Sharman Cup sponsored by Crown Lift Trucks, and if I could get that out in one whack, I'd be so happy. Otahu Leopards are playing Bay Roskill Vikings. That's going to be a big match today, so if you're out and about, get down to Bert Henman. That's going to be a massive clash for them. Ellerslie Eagles are hosting the Ponsonby Ponies. Another great footy match to catch up with. Papatoe Panthers, I think, will do it pretty tough against the Otara Scorpions, who are travelling away. And Newland at home are playing the Manurewa Marlins, and I think the Marlins, coming off the back of their last week's win, will be a pretty tough opposition.
Yeah, look, obviously a couple of blowouts last week, but it's been a pretty close competition, the second division this year, and I think certainly boosted by the return of Otahu. Bay Roskill playing some great footy as well. The Marlins, an interesting one. We saw them in action, obviously, at the start of the year, Troy, and it was a really good game they had with Bay Roskill. They then got a few injuries and kind of fell away a little bit, but...
I blame the strapper, Corey. It's all the strapper's fault, and I believe she's back now, and she's had a wee bit of tuition, and she's strapping good.
And just having a look around Prince Edward Park already, a big crowd starting to come in for kickoff. We are about 10 minutes or 5 minutes away, I should say, from kickoff here in round 16 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. Plenty of green about for the Prostate Cancer Awareness and Fundraiser Day. A big shout out to all of those who have organised that, a fantastic initiative down here at the Papakura Sea Eagles. And also a shout out to Roman Hefo Troy, who's going to play his 150th game for the Papakura Sea Eagles today. Also spent a season at the Mangere East Hawks, so you'd think he's probably up around the 170-odd game mark in terms of his Fox career. So what a wonderful servant to the local game. Of course, represented Auckland a couple of times, and always there or thereabouts in terms of the best players in the comp.
Yeah, no, he's a good, strong leader. He's well disciplined. He's very skillful at the game. He's got a lot of class, that boy, and I wish him all the best and hope that he gets another 150 away as well. One thing you'll notice about today's game, Corey, is the Papakura Sea Eagles won't be playing in their traditional maroon and white. They will be in a lime green colour, just to help celebrate and promote, the wonderful work that they're doing in the community with the, help me now, with the bowel cancer project.
Yeah, sorry, I did say prostate cancer a couple of times there, a bit of a slip of the tongue, but yeah, bowel cancer awareness is the cause for the day.
So they'll be in a different playing strip today. They played in it last year as well. So don't get confused when you see them come out in the lime green. On the screens, ladies and gentlemen, if you've just joined us here, this is the Live League Action Weekend brought to you by the Auckland Rugby League, live streaming. And the reserves are now just finishing up on the SAS sponsored field for today's ground, SAS Fox Memorial round 16. I'm going to go with Corey as he's smiling and looking at me. And a big thank you for everyone who's joined us, especially the little bar down there in Te Araha. And as you know, ladies and gentlemen, buy a jug, get one jug free, and hopefully Troy's not poisoning anybody else down there today. We're back.
So not long until kickoff down here today, and plenty of things at play, I guess. A new coach for the Papakura Sea Eagles, Calvin Wright, formerly of the Vodafone Junior Warriors, so a huge boost for them to get a coach of that caliber back. Interesting to see what he's going to add in terms of his changes to the structure of the team and what he can do. Obviously this season just about a lost cause for the Seagulls, but plenty to build towards for next year. It hasn't been the title defence they wanted, but there has been some circumstances out of their control. A couple of injuries, a couple of player losses. These are things.
Couple of player movements as well.
Yeah, so these are things that you can't obviously control, but Papakura certainly have done themselves proud with their title defence in terms of their efforts every week, and they have shown up a couple of times over the last few weeks to record big results. So looking forward to seeing what the Seagulls have on offer today. So we will now run you through the team list for today, which we will bring up on the screen and take you through the players who will take the field today. And there are a few changes from that which will appear on your screen. So starting with the home team, the Mania Holmes Papakura Sea Eagles. And at the back, he's going to be wearing the number 7, but playing fullback Nicholas Worthington. On the wings, Evan Hunt and Diamond Taimani. The centres are Peter Olivetti and Francis Totu. In the halves, Willie Stowers back from injury. Of course, a really influential player for them, so huge boost getting Willie back in the squad. And wearing the 19, playing in the halves, will be Kimi Iwasi. In the front row, Zion Tasesi joins Wheeler Ailupo. And the number 9, the hooker, is Sheldon Rogers. In the back row, Fetu Ikahifo and Sam Ikahifo. And locking the scrum, we mentioned it earlier, the 150-game man, Roman Hifo, will be locking the scrum and captaining the side. And on the bench for the Papakura Sea Eagles, Sunia Hala, Tuiloma Futi, Keanu Dawson, and Donovan Briggs. So that is your Mania Holmes Papakura Sea Eagles team for the match today. And now a look at the North City Reinforcement Northcote Tigers, and at the back, Morgan Tamoti Cook. The wings are James Waterson and Amoy Tully. In the centres, Cole Waka and Manu Vetunabua. The halves, Benjamin McIntyre and Eku Malu. In the front row, Eddie Whanoatoa and Josiah Afu is the 9, with Trent Schonkel the 10. In the back row, Taylor Daniels, Matthew Tafutu, Xavier Rice is the lock. And on the bench, Fatura Davis, Shawnee Louis, Harrison Sutton and Levi McBurney. So that is your away team for today, the Northcote Tigers. So just minutes away from kickoff here.
And a big shout out. Big shout out. We're going to do
streaming today.
We're live streaming as always. Big shout out to the sponsors for the two teams here today. Novo Technical Services for the Northcote Tigers, Burnside Bros for the Papakura Sea Eagles, along with Mania Holmes. And there's one more major sponsor for the Tigers that we have to mention, and we will find that very shortly.
A little bit of late scrambling on the ground down here, not helped by the strong wind which is continually blowing our paperwork away, so do bear with us as we count down to the final couple of minutes before kickoff here at Prince Edward Park.
Northern, help me now, Corey. North City reinforcement. Referees, linesmen are on the ground. You may have heard the 5-minute warning hooter has gone. And if you're looking to be a referee, please, get contact into the Auckland Rugby League, the aucklandleague.co.nz website. And there you'll find a link through to the Auckland Referees Association, where, you can still be part of the game and also keep fitness up and probably have the best seat in the house.
So if you are just tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, you're a late arrival, just about to kick off here at Prince Edward Park between the Papakura Sea Eagles and the Northcote Tigers. A reminder that Papakura will be rocking the green kits today in support of bowel cancer New Zealand. It's not a government-funded association, so they rely on the generosity of the community, and plenty of generosity on display down here today with the Papakura Sea Eagles, helping out with a bit of a fundraising day and also a day to raise awareness. So the teams are making their way onto the field today. If you are down at the club, head over to the clubhouse and make a donation to what is a fantastic cause for bowel cancer New Zealand. So the Tigers now making their way onto the park, sitting 6th on the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership ladder. We mentioned it earlier in the coverage, had a massive victory over the Howick Hornets last week. Howick really flying high this year, and that 14-6 victory, a massive boost for the Tigers, who will be looking to claim another scalp today. Of course, they beat Papakura earlier in the season, which really kick-started them for a strong second round. So no doubt looking to back that up today. And for the Papakura Sea Eagles, currently sitting 5th. They are a fair way outside of that top 4 right now, but it is also about building for next year. And as we see them walking out now, rocking the green kits.
Yep, being brought out by the mini mods players, and the traditional Papakura Sea Eagles gear being the maroon and white. And as we said a wee bit earlier in the build-up, Papakura Sea Eagles will be playing in the lime green and white, supporting bowel cancer here today, and what a fabulous piece of work that they're doing here in the local community. Just as the Northcote Tigers were walking out there, Corey, led out by Taylor Daniels. Hasn't he grown in stature this season? He's been leading from the front, and expecting another strong game from him today.
Yeah, look, I think that's probably fair to say for a number of these Northcote players. You know, speaking to Jeff Morden earlier, he said, you know, a number of the boys have kind of found new levels, and they've been able to kind of sustain that through this second round. So, you know, we look at players like Morgan Tamoti Cook as well, who's playing some really good footy. You've also got Eko Malu in the halves as well. So plenty of guys standing up for the Northcote Tigers. Probably outdone a little bit in terms of experience when you compare them to the Papakura Sea Eagles. We've got Roman Hifo and Kimi Uasi, who jump out straight away as two kind of veterans of the Auckland club scene. And no doubt two key contributors today. Kimi moving into the halves due to the withdrawal of Liam Prendergrass. So Kimi will be wearing the number 19, but you would think his clash opposite Eko Malu in the halves is going to be a pretty key one in this one. And also the battle of the back rows in terms of Taylor Daniels coming up against Roman Hifo. Roman in his 150th game for the Papakura Sea Eagles, so big congratulations to Roman.
And there he is now on screen shaking hands, and got the fabulous, cutting out the fabulous haircut there, Roman, as per normal. And big day for him, as well as the kids who are now running off with the green balloons, supporting the bowel cancer community-driven fundraising down here at the Papakura Sea Eagles. Looks like it's going to be a cracker day for a game of rugby league, Corey. And I think this is, if you're in the area, you know, come down and join us. The ground is firm, a little bit of wind in the air, the sun is shining as we get ready now for the Papakura Sea Eagles to kick off, and the Northcote Tigers getting ready to complete a set of 6. That's what Jeff would want, I'd say, Corey.
That's the ideal. So Willie Stowers gets us underway. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Round 16 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership, and it is the Northcote Tigers with first use of the ball, and it's a good first carry there.
He's got 4 on him.
Off the back fence, so a good initial start for the Northcote Tigers now. Quick play the ball. Afu gets into dummy half, hands it off. And a penalty as well, so that is great work early on from the Northcote Tigers, and just that speed of play, probably getting the penalty there. I think caught Papakura sneaking up a little bit to try and slow down that momentum, so Malu keen to get things back underway, kicks for touch, so they're going to start this set 40 out from the line.
Yeah, a lot of good energy and talk already on the Papakura Sea Eagles side, so they'll be wanting to have great line speed here and contain them on the Northcote side. Help me, Corey. Help me. I'm worried. There's 18 balloons have just gone off out the back as the young kids had run off, and I think one of them's run off and burst into tears.
So Chomkul takes it forward now. Afu into dummy half, 30 metres out. Handed off. Daniels coming in early, looking for a little bit of work.
Great run.
Sheldon Rogers evolved in on the tackle, so 20 metres out from the line now, and it's a really good start from the Northcote Tigers. Rice now on the ball, hands it off to Chomkul again. Second involvement in this set.
We're live streaming, Corey. Get in there, mate.
Afu now into the bottom of the ruck, looking left and right. He's going to head out towards this left edge where Malu gets on the ball now. Dummies heads back inside, not tricking anyone on this occasion. Very close to the line here, and we've got an appeal.
Held up.
But it is going to be go back and play the ball. So Malu really out of nowhere there, getting close to the line. It looked like it was a pretty innocuous kind of play, but just drove over. Plenty of talk going on from young Echo as well.
Not the only talk. I think up there on the bank too, the Papakura Sea Eagles supporters were giving the guidance and referee some advice in regards to that being held up as Tigers come back to the left edge now.
Finitoa there with a good carry. Afu. Malu dribbles a little kick in, has taken a deflection. Ball is loose, but dived on by Papakura, who recover. And I think we might have a forced in goal and a repeat set coming up for the North City reinforcement, Northcote Tigers. So excellent start to the game for the visitors.
Is that going to be part of the strategy today? Little grubber across the ground.
Well, we've tended to see it quite a bit in the last few weeks, haven't we? Obviously, with the wet weather, it's been pretty difficult conditions for back threes in terms of picking the ball up. Obviously, a different story today with the dry weather. So interesting to see what we get. Of course, Malu is capable of forcing those repeat sets. He's got a pretty good short kicking game on him. But in the meantime, we get back underway now with Waka taking it 20 metres out from the line. Afu finds Rice, who dummies, puts a little step on and runs into his opposite number, Hifo. Early missed tackle there for Roman. Afu.
And if you've just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, the wind is kind of strong, a little bit gusty, blowing from right to left, and the flags will give you an indication of that behind the goal line.
So out towards this right edge they go. Afu on this occasion tackled after a little dart from dummy half. Rice finds Finatoa. So they've got a quick play the ball, and here come the Northcote Tigers. They go back door into space. Walker now with a 2-on-1, taken down just short of the line and play the ball as a call. So good scrambling defense from the Papakura Sea Eagles. And they hold them out on that occasion.
Very, very close. The Mania Home sponsored Sea Eagles now trying to grind it outside their 10.
So the Sea Eagles now with their first use of the ball. They've gone the first just about 4 minutes without a touch of the ball, so no doubt a relieving set here for the Sea Eagles. Lupo coming out from the back fence. We saw him in action over the last few years with a couple of different clubs, but the Otara Scorpions, of course, his junior club, came up to the Fox with them a couple of seasons ago and really hasn't looked back. Represented Auckland since then and gone on to play for the Warriors at New South Wales Cup level as well. So they're swinging out to Wasi, who puts a kick over the top. Looks like it's going to be fielded on the full.
Wind playing a little part in holding that ball up too, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out for the rest of today's game. Some of the Northcote Tigers getting back into position now.
Vitinibua going looking for work early, about 45 off their line. Waterston as well coming into the outside backs. Plenty of involvement early on here.
Big strong wrestle there, met 3 of them before he went to ground.
Taylor Daniels now attacking down at the right edge.
Good strong carry. Here come the forwards. He's offloaded.
Yeah, nice
going
second
left.
phase there, finds Tronkel. Again, another offload, good second phase play here from the Northcote Tigers. It's ended up out on the left edge with Matthew Tafutu, who is taken down now. Walker into dummy half. Goes for a little dart out towards the left. He's short of the line.
Well, that was the 5th, I think. He's going to have to hand that over. Don't know if he realised that at the time.
Yeah, a bit of a breakdown in communication perhaps there for the Northcote Tigers. But not the end of the world. They still hand the ball over about 5 metres off the line. They make the Papakura Sea Eagles go the distance if they're going to get a result at the end of this set. So the Sea Eagles now, I dare say, their outside backs need to get involved. They've done a whole lot of defensive work in this opening 5 minutes. They've only had the one set of the ball. This is now their second use of the ball. So plenty of tackles early on for the hosts. You see Willie Stowers in the background there directing a bit of traffic. Rogers into dummy half, the young fella from down in the Waikato, my neck of the woods, Tūranga Waiwai.
Inga iwi. Too soon?
I'm not too sure what that was about there, Troy, but we'll leave your song as it is. So Rogers into dummy half. Out to Wasi, who goes over the top. It's a pretty good chase by the look here from Papakura. It's not going to matter because it has gone to Tuli on the full. They get there in numbers, do the Sea Eagles right in front of the commentary box down here at Prince Edward Park. Malu feeds out from the bottom of the ruck, and they're making good yardage
run.
here.
Yep. Big shout out to their sponsors, North City Reinforcement. Appreciate your support for the Northcote Tigers.
So the Tigers with a golden opportunity here to strike first, get some points on the board. Rice now attacks the middle, met solidly, front on by Rogers. They go right edge, McIntyre dummies, finds Timothy Cook. Vetiabua heads back in, palms off one, eventually taken down. They're not far off here, the Northcote Tigers. Papakura pressed up against their line. McIntyre dribbles a little one over the top. It's a bouncing ball, a dangerous one, which in the end I think had to be cleared by Nicholas Worthington, coming across there and punched it dead. So it looks like we'll have repeat sets coming up for the North City Reinforcement Northcote Tigers and the Manaia Homes Papakura Seagulls. Yet more defensive work, boy, Troy. They've been made to do some work early on.
Yeah, I agree, and scrambled really well on that set. You know, looked like they were starting to get stretched out there on the right-hand side and managed to contain it. However, back into the grind now as they get ready for a goal line drop. And there it is. Bit of a low strike.
Fielded by Tully, and he takes it forward. So huge set in these early exchanges here. Northcote, they really need a result. They've spent a whole lot of time down here as Schrompel takes it forward. Right next to the SAS upright. Afu into dummy half, looking both ways. Says we'll go right, spins it out towards another of the big fellas. Lupo involved in the tackle. McIntyre now finds Timothy Cook, hands it off to Vetiabua. Little step inside, but Papakura up to task on this occasion. So not finding much luck on the edges. And so far looking like their best chances through one of the big boys through the middle of the park. Rice hands it off. And a nice offload there. It's out the back. It's a loose ball, but scooped up by, I think, Francis Tutu. So it was initially a nice little bit of second phase there, but the support just wasn't there on that occasion. And now Papakura say we'll play a little bit of second phase. It hasn't gone to plan at all, and Matthew Tafutu is going to run in the opening try of the game. We're going to check just to make sure there was no knock-on in the lead-up there, but it looks like we are all good. And the Northcote Tigers strike first after a glut of possession in attacking territory. And look at this on the instant replay here. Ball comes loose, Tafutu picks it up, and from there it's an untouched run to the line for the big fella.
What a fabulous action replay as well, and that's part of our new innovation here at the Auckland live streaming. And I want to thank CTAS, our live stream partners, bringing the action replays into play. And there you go, the boys are all celebrating, they love that. And they'll play that over and over, Corey, in slow motion back at the club tomorrow and the next week and the day after.
Good mileage out of that. So the conversion to be attempted, not quite from the sideline, but a difficult one to start with here for Taylor Daniels. You mentioned the wind, Troy.
Yeah.
It's kind of gusting in little periods.
So it's on his back, so I'm picking he's probably have to go to the right-hand side SAS bolster upright. And with the wind at his back, you know, it'll probably swing that around somewhat. And it's on his natural side, so he's been striking the ball pretty well all season. And I dare say he'll be wanting to nail the 2 points off this as well to give them, you know, the best opportunity and getting as much margin as they can.
So Daniels lining up the kick, steps in. And just away to the left. So not a bad strike, certainly had the legs, but just maybe caught a little bit of wind at the end there. So it leaves the score at Northcote Tigers 4, Papakura Seagulls 0. 10 minutes gone here in round 16 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership at Prince Edward Park. If you are just joining us, the Seagulls promoting and fundraising for Bowel Cancer New Zealand today. So that is what the green kit is all about. And also if you see some of the green balloons around the park, lots of people wearing green, even some kids with the hair dyed green. So awesome initiative from the club, and a big thank you to all of those involved in this one. So the Seagulls prepare to get us back underway off the boot of Willie Stowers.
Great to see Willie back too, Corey. He sustained a shoulder injury in the first round, and there was great fears that he wasn't going to make it back for the season. So Willie Stowers, good to see you back, mate, and great rehab.
And a shout out to the Seagulls, who had James Bell become the latest Vodafone Warrior last night, made his debut becoming Vodafone Warrior number 220. Of course, James, a Papakura boy, played for this team only a few years ago. It's awesome to see. I did manage to catch up with James after the match, and I dare say he was a little overwhelmed, probably a bit of a mix of emotions given what a big day it was for him, but also the loss for the club. So congratulations to James, and great to see another of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership boys graduating through to higher levels. But back to the action now as McIntyre shifts out towards the right. Vetiniabua beats the initial one.
Well, great run. Tigers are on the prowl again, back inside the Papakura Sea Eagles 20.
Rice on the ball. Hands it off to Eddie Finitoa. Afu into dummy half, little jinking run, just about gets through, but where's a shot for his troubles, and that is last tackle, so they survive another one there, the Papakura Sea Eagles.
And a couple of big boys laid a shoulder on them too. They're not small units, those Papakura Sea Eagles.
So the defending champions now with some rare ball, and it has been a torrid start to the match for them as Toto gets involved. Rogers hands it off. Rice involved in the tackle. Rice, of course, a graduate of the St. Paul's College system, and we do get back into the SAS College Rugby League next week. Really looking forward to bringing you St. Paul's versus Kelston from Kelston Boys High School, our first live stream of the SAS College Rugby League for the year. So join us for that one from 4 p.m. on Wednesday.
Knock on.
But as we cut back to the action, Ailupo there with an error in the play of the ball. Bit of a sloppy one there. You could see he's trying to get the quick play of the ball, desperately trying to generate a bit of momentum for his team. But on that occasion, the execution just a little bit off. So they all packed down a scrum pretty much smack bam on halfway here at Prince Edward Park.
Yeah, Roman came up behind him and gave him a big pat on the back, said, look, disconnect, you know, don't worry about it, mate, move on from it, let's get back into the grind. It's been all Northcote so far, Corey. They've been down inside their half, just putting the pressure on. And be fair to say, you know, we really need to see if they can get the ball back and build a bit of momentum themselves. I'm getting very tongue-tied today.
So Waterson upended there.
Oh.
Afu out of dummy half, breaks one, breaks two. I think Stowers may have been offside, not square at Marcus. They had to pull out of that one. Rogers eventually finishes him off with a bit of help from Roman Hefo. So the Northcote Tigers, they're rolling here, and Afu, boy, he's been heavily involved early on. Good support play from the little number 9. Rice now into the bottom of the ruck. They're looking out towards the left, and Malu now. Hands on the ball, goes back door.
Great run.
Nice, great run there.
And they seem to be offloading too, eh, mate?
He's caused some trouble early on, has Big Eddie. Malu looking for the shift now as Rice dummies, puts a little step on. Fleet-footed for a lock forward is Rice. Afu. McIntyre now looking back towards the sticks, a little kick across the body. Ball is loose, in goal, but it's going to go dead, so not a bad end to the set there. Good to see a bit of variety in the last tackle plays.
Yeah, they've been very innovative. They've gone to the air a couple of times. They've grubbed it along the ground, doing very well on the end of their set kicks. Now, let's see what happens with Papakura Sea Eagles. Again inside their 20, trying to grind it out. I think they've only been in the Tigers half, glimpse visits, and then straight back down into the grind.
Yeah, that's right, and they urgently need a penalty or something just to get them out of here. But they have defended really well, which is going to be giving them a lot of confidence. So 40 metres out from the line now. Rogers goes left to Stowers, who tried to go back inside and find Tassisi. Took the tackle instead as they inch up towards halfway now. Now Tassisi gets on the ball. It's prop to prop. Hands it off to Ailupo, who just about goes through. Tackled well in the end, I think, by Tafutu, finishing it off. And now they go to the sky. Wasi off the boot. It's a high one, taken beautifully at the back by James Waterson.
Probably couldn't tell from that footage, Corey. You know, it was a high ball, but it didn't seem to go down the park. It just held up, and dropped short.
So the Tigers now working it out, and Papakura really need to start restricting their metres here. They're making easy yardage, particularly through a couple of the big boys as Daniels comes for a run there. And again, Troy, there we go, 15 metres. You know, it's you can't afford to get away with that at this level, so they need to tighten up that defense around the ruck a little bit now as Malu puts on a little step, runs into Ailupo. He's a brave man.
He's had a strong game so far, hasn't he, the half?
Absolutely, yeah. A couple of those small skill players for Northcote really making the most of a pack who's rolling forward now as Waterson puts a scrappy little kick over the top. It's picked up by Zan Tassisi, who gladly takes it to about 20 metres out from the line now. Totu getting involved in the maroon headgear. looking for the quick play of the ball. Rogers darting out a dummy half, but Northcote up to task so far. McIntyre comes in to finish that one off and slow things down a little bit.
Yeah, bit sloppy, all this one-off stuff. Bit of an engagement with the referee there. They're making an appeal. Don't think anything's going to come of it though, and he now wants a scrum. So a lot of one-off stuff there from the Papakura Sea Eagles. I know Roman's trying to, G up his troops as they get ready now to pack down. And a wee bit of a conversation being had at the between the captain and the referee there. And the weather's fantastic down here today, folks. So if you're in the area, come and join us. It's a brilliant day for rugby league, and this game is going to be a cracker.
Yeah, nice reprieve from some of the weather we've dealt with over the last few weeks in Auckland. And as a result, already seen a bit more skill and quality on display on the field.
Good strong carry there. Running against the grain of traffic. Another good settle.
So the Sea Eagles now with their first real chance to set up camp in attacking territory. So we will see what they have got here. We know they've got plenty of quality across their team, particularly in the spine.
Starting to get a wee bit of momentum here and maybe just build a little bit of pressure.
So 20 metres out for the line now. The Sea Eagles getting a bit of a roll on. Lupo takes it forward. He want a quick play the ball at the end of this one. You would think they're looking right edge at this stage. Rogers into dummy half, finds Wasi. Wasi dribbles a little kick in behind, but it's well cleaned up at the back by Tully. Great work there from the Northcote winger.
Oh, crazy pass inside the 10. Managed to contain it. He's looking to offload. No, they're going to hold him there. Get ready to play the ball.
So the Tigers now under a little bit of pressure in terms of earning yardage.
Just watching Roman, the captain, and back play there. That heavy strapping on the leg is just not looking 100% there.
Malu shifts out to Tafutu, the first try scorer in the match.
Yeah. I think that leg's causing him a little bit of aggravation.
So Worthington collects at the back and takes it forward there, takes a hit. So the Sea Eagles now looking to work it off their own line. They've done a fair bit of this today. Referee says go back and play the ball on the mark. We are right, Troy Hefo limping a little bit in back play. As we can see,
he's in the Tigers' defense line.
He's currently playing halfback for the Tigers. Eventually getting back into the line, and he's in no hurry as Roman.
So it looks like Groundhog Day again as the Papakura Sea Eagles, sponsored by Mania Homes, start grinding it out inside their 20.
Ika Hefo takes it forward. But the Tigers, good line speed so far. Big carry off the back fence here. Keanu
Big,
Dawson.
strong run.
And he has been influential for them this year, and it's another really good carry there from Keanu. Hefo ends up kicking his charge down, and there's trouble here for the Papakura Sea Eagles if he gets free, but well scrambled by Willie Stowers there. So Hefo ended up with the ball, I think on last tackle. Not really the ideal guy there when you've got a playmaking spine like Papakura do, and ended up putting a kick in, got charged down. And now Waterson making yardage for fun out on the right. So really struggling here are the Sea Eagles. The Northcote Tigers looking to strike again. They scored in the opening few minutes through Tafutu out here on this left edge. And again applying plenty of pressure. Nice second phase there from Taylor Daniels. Hands it off, but it is going to be called a knock-on or a forward pass in there. So the Sea Eagles survived that one. And a scrum will pack down about 30 metres off the Papakura line.
Big shout out to our major sponsor, SAS Sporting Apparel, major sponsors of the Fox Memorial. We want to thank them for their support. SAS Fox Memorial, round 16.
So 20 minutes gone here at Prince Edward Park, and it really has been all about Northcote and his opening exchanges. To their credit, Papakura have produced a couple of really good goal line stands. So defensively, plenty to like about what the Sea Eagles are doing, but they just haven't had enough ball. A couple of sloppy errors coming out of yardage, put them under pressure, a couple of penalties as well. So they need a result at the end of this one in terms of setting up camp down at the other end of the park. Totu takes the first hit up from the scrum. Stowers into dummy half.
Yeah, they spent a lot of time down here in this first half, haven't they, Corey?
Absolutely, and that's got to take a toll at some stage. So they desperately need to get away from this heavy defensive load. Good carry there from Fetu Hifo. Takes it up to the 40. So this is a better set from the Manaia Homes, Papakura Seagulls.
Great
Big Keanu Dawson, another good carry. Fresh on the field, off the bench, and Rogers gets under dummy half. They get the quick play. The ball, Ika Hifo was looking for a little inside play there. The execution just a little bit off. It was the right idea, Troy, the fast fella, looming in the middle of the park there, but just a little bit off. And another error for the Seagulls. And we just spoke about it, their inability to complete their sets. It's been costly so far.
Yeah,
and again, another sloppy error.
I think we're only 3 in at that point, and not making the best of the opportunity and completing their sets. So I'm pretty sure that'll be something that they'll be speaking about at the halftime mark as the scrum gets set now to pack down. And just having a look at the body language around the park, everyone's sort of still heavily engaged. Here come the Seagulls again, sponsored by Manaia Homes.
And so we've had a call overturned there. I think we must have ended up with a Northcote knock on at the end of that. It was one of those ones where there was a few sort of hands in the ball. So a relieving one for the Papakura Seagulls now as Fetuika Hifo takes it forward. So here we go, their best chance of the game so far. Rogers
Big
comes
run.
into big Keanu Dawson. Another good carry from Dawson.
He's been bending the line all day, Corey, that boy.
He's only just come on the field, so that is some achievement. Wasi now, backdoor, comes back inside. Here come the Seagulls.
Go the 16. I love the 16.
Rogers back towards the sticks. Wasi, Stowers,
Great
big
run.
spinning pass over the back. They're into a little bit of space here. Are the Seagulls just short of the line and held up, so watch out for the dart here. Instead, they're going to go out the back. Stowers dribbles the little kick in. It's taken a deflection. Ball is loose and cleaned up beautifully, I think, by Morgan Timoti Cook in the end. So great defensive set there from the Northcote Tigers.
Well diffused.
Difficult one to defuse. It took an early deflection. The ball was loose, but well read in the end by Timoti Cook. Now Daniels bringing it out. Tackled around the legs by Stowers. Slow play the ball. Appeals for a penalty. Nothing coming. They come back in towards the middle of the park.
They need to be working hard down here, try and, stem the flow. Show and go.
Now, space out here on this left edge. Malu was inside. Now they've got Tuli. They've got a 3-on-1 here if they can execute. Finds Malu, and they will score their second try of the game. And a nicely worked left side shift there. Great support play inside from Eko Malu. And they find the result in the end. So we will take a look at that one on our instant replay. And it was a thing of beauty, really. A nicely worked move down the left edge. There we're going to see the finish of it. But the real good work coming
from their centre, number 3.
Yeah, a little bit earlier in this one as we go back here and we see a nice initial pass to find the space out wide. And then from here, they've always got the numbers advantage. It's a big effort from Malu on the inside here.
Look at the timing of the pass too. Boom.
Yeah, beautifully summed up. And then from here, it was always going to be a try 2 on the inside. Finds Malu.
The fullback's nightmare. 3-on-1.
What's he meant to do there? Does his best to stop it, but the Northcote Tigers, classy try there to double their lead. Kick to come, so it is 8 points to 0. Northcote Tigers over the Papakura Seagulls. Kick to come, which would make it 10-0 here with about 25 minutes gone at Prince Edward Park. Round 16 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership, and we're getting to crunch time in the Auckland First Division.
Yeah.
And this one, a big game in terms of these two teams and where they might finish on the ladder and building into 2018.
And as Taylor gets ready now to address the ball and to come into strike, I think he might have a word to us half and say, look, could you just run around and put it underneath the crossbar for me?
So Taylor Daniels to attempt the conversion from just to the left of the uprights. It should be a pretty regulation one for him, although with this gusting wind, nothing guaranteed today. Strikes it well. And it does go over to catch the wind there and veered viciously to the left, but that is all good. And it is the North City reinforcement, Northcote Tigers 10 and the Manaia Homes, Papakura Seagulls 0. 25 minutes gone here in the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership Clash, our live stream match of the day. If you are just tuning in, give us a share on Facebook, share it with your family and friends. A big shout out to everyone watching today as we build towards the playoffs in the Auckland First Division. The Sea Eagles now marching up towards halfway to get us back underway.
Big crowd down here today, Corey, especially up on the banks of the main #1 field here. And there's good crowds to the left and to the right of us over here on the commentary stand side. Beautiful day for rugby league. And the call's going to the right.
Yeah, I think it's Shonkel there with a good carry off the back fence. The ball
And
has
dropped
spilt loose. I put the mocker
The
on
kiss
him.
of death from Corey.
Usually territory reserved for you, Troy, but on this occasion...
There's no need to be deflecting, my friend. Today it is all on your shoulders. And Mr. Shonkel will be coming to see you at your place.
So, exactly what Papakura wanted there, and they're going to start this set from about 25 metres off their line. Kimiwasi to feed the scrum. They're set heavily out towards the left, just the two players on the short side here.
Big shout out to Dave Shonkel as well. Northcote stalwart, great fullback from the club, and another legend of the game.
Little show and go there from Peter Olivetti. The 28-year-old centre. As the Sea Eagles now start to make a bit of yardage, you can see there Roman Hefo directing traffic like a halfback wearing 13. Hands it off to big Keanu Dawson. Another good carry. Gets the ball out the back. Rogers now on the ball. Here we go. Second phase from the Sea Eagles. Willie Stowers. Space was out wide. The ball has spilt loose.
Yep.
But I think it's going to be okay. And Peter Olivetti is going to go over for Papakura's first try of the game. And it all came off the second phase from Keanu Dawson. Hit the line hard. Got the ball out the back. It was a bit sloppy. But eventually found the right hands. And Olivetti scores in the left-hand corner here for the Papakura Sea Eagles. So their first points of the day. 27 minutes in. And it is 10 points to 4 with kick to come.
Here's our wonderful CTAS slow motion. And boom, there you go. He's happy with that.
Did well to get the ball down in the end there, Troy, under a bit of attention.
I'm more impressed with the slow motion that's been provided to us by the CTAS boys. We're very, very happy. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you've just joined us on the live stream, the slow motion is a new innovation for us. So give us a thumb, give us a share, give us a like, as we're bringing you the live league action courtesy of the Auckland Rugby League through our website, aucklandleague.co.nz, sponsored by SAS Sporting Apparel for the SAS Fox.
So Willie Stowers to attempt this conversion, and a difficult one from out towards the left of our commentary box here. A good crowd over there on the back.
Just
and even more over here on our commentary side as well. And if you are wondering why the Sea Eagles are rocking the green today, it is in support of Bell Cancer New Zealand. And at halftime, I think we are going to have a little presentation to award a cheque to Bell Cancer Association of New Zealand. So looking forward to that one. Great initiative from the Sea Eagles as Stowers strikes the ball, and it is away to the right. So the score remains North City, Northcote Tigers 10, Papakura Sea Eagles 4. Sponsored by Mania Homes. Half an hour gone here at Prince Edward Park in round 16 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership.
And a big thank you to Graham Norton, who helped support the Northcote Tigers, along with the Novo Technical Services, big stalwart of the game, and appreciate all the support that all the clubs get in any form of sponsorship, let alone support at grassroots level. Well done, Graham.
So McIntyre gets us underway. It's a line drive down towards the corner and just about bounces out, but taken well eventually by the Sea Eagles, who all of a sudden look like they've got a little bit of a spring in their step here, and a nice quick play of the ball. Wasi into dummy half. Ika Hefo now taking it forward. So let's see what the Sea Eagles can do here. A little bit of confidence behind them. Hefo getting involved, decides to take it forward after initially dumbing out the back. Rogers coming back towards the middle of the park. Fakes instead, goes to Keanu Dawson. A big carry from Keanu Dawson up over halfway.
Played fabulous all day, that guy, Corey.
Worthington finds Stowers, and Fetuika Hefo there just spills the ball. It was a great set there from the Papakura Sea Eagles. Easily their best work with the ball today, but unfortunately it comes to an end on the 40. And now the Tigers look to hit straight back. James Waterston out of dummy half. He's made the Kiwi League Central Team of the Week the last couple of weeks. Doing some good things on the right flank for the Tigers as they come up over halfway. Rice hands it off. Daniels now comes in looking for a little bit of work. Well tackled there.
Big hit. By
Hefo and Ika Hefo. That's a mouthful, that one. Roman, of course, playing his 150th game, so congratulations to Roman Hefo playing his 150th for the Papakura Sea Eagles. And I dare say he's probably played another 15 or 20 on top of that during his time with the Manganese Hawks. I think he spent just the one season there with the Hawks.
Ooh.
Nice second phase here
Out the
from
back.
Northcote. Tafutu beats the first one, beats the second one. He's into a little bit of space. Here is the big fella looking for the offload. Eventually gets flipped over. Wasi finishes him over the top. Now Afu eyeing up, play to the left. Malu burrowing low, might have got the ball down. Here is Echo.
Is he?
He's pretty confident, the referee's pretty confident. We have a try. So it is another one for the North City reinforcement, Northcote Tigers. And that time, just pure determination from Eko Malu. Got close to the line here. And as you can see, just the leg drive. It was a four-man tackle from Papakura.
Yeah.
But somehow, Malu gets the ball down there, and that is fantastic work. They could tell straight away. Look at the joy on the face.
From Afu to Malu, the little choo-choo through the tunnel there, scores the try.
My goodness. And you think of this stuff on the spot. I'm in awe.
Well, you should be. And great replay there once again from the CTAS crew.
Yeah, awesome to have the replays on offer here and just take a look at some of the stuff that we see up at the try-scoring end in particular. And I dare say we might see the odd big hit later on as well. There's a Papakura player just down receiving a little bit of attention as this kick is...
It's not Roman, is it?
Attempted, and it looks like it might be Roman Hifo. You can see
Just by the heavy strapping.
Leg strapping there, so receiving a little bit of attention there, a little bit of concern being shown for the big number 13. Taylor Daniels in the meantime to attempt this conversion. He's kicked a couple from this sort of range already. They've done all their damage down the left edge so far, have the Tigers. Daniels now to kick towards the hill end of the park. Great to see the sponsorship banners up in the background there. Good work from the Papakura Sea Eagles Club. A big shout out to all those supporting the defending Fox Memorial champions as Daniels hits this one and it's curling nicely and it's over. So lovely kick there from Daniels, and Roman Hifo is being carted off in back play. This is terrible news in game number 150 for the big fella, and Troy, that looks like a serious one. He might not be back today.
I think be fair to say I picked that early. He looked... I just give myself a pat on the back there, Corey. No, the heavy strapping, obviously, first 4 or 5 minutes into the game, he looked like he was struggling a wee bit in back play. And just goes to show, how courageous he is wanting to be out of here. And he must have known that he wasn't 100% before he took the field today. Yeah,
and he was under an injury cloud heading into this one. Even as late as last night, they weren't sure if Big Hifo was going to take the field. So unfortunately, it looks like his day may well have ended here, which is going to put his side under even more pressure. Such an influential player for them in the middle of the park, and not the way he wanted his 150th for the Sea Eagles to go. But back to the action now, and Stowers gets us back underway with a high one here, which will be difficult to claim, but Malu comes through and takes it. Had a great game so far, has little number 7. Toto involved in the tackle, it looks like. We'll just wait to see sort of what the readjustment is there, Troy. They've obviously got a couple of big boys on the bench who can play in the middles, and even their centres really look capable of playing in the halves.
The coach spoke earlier. The coach spoke earlier in the build-up about what this meant to the team. Roman having his 150, so the expectation now will be some of the senior boys inside that group to stand up. Oh, they've stolen the ball.
Yeah, nice one.
Play on.
Strip there, so they get the ball back. But yeah, Troy, you're
right.
Yeah,
to stand up now, they've got to bring a bit of pride, bit of emotion back into it, and pull one out for the big fella. And as far as Roman's concerned, Godspeed on the rehab, mate.
So Rogers now hands it off to Ika Hifo. Of course, we are just assuming that Hifo's day is over. He might make a miracle recovery, but given the way he was limping off the field, not too sure about that one. So in the meantime, his Sea Eagles are marching forward. And Footy now takes it. Ika Hifo with another big carry. Hair flying everywhere. Rogers. Stowers.
Here they come.
Wasi. Backdoor here. There's space out on the right edge. Little kick dribbled through just about. And we're going to have to check that one because there is an appeal for a try going up. I think it's Nick Worthington who's appealing for it. So initially the kick through went unclaimed. And then I think it's Worthington that's arrived late.
Having a conversation.
And it is a try. So that is a lovely piece of play there from the Papakura Sea Eagles. Some nice skill out on the right edge here. And you can see the ball gets to Evan Hunt, who dribbles it through, eventually gets run off the ball initially, and then Worthington comes through to claim it, and that is indeed a try. So good follow-up work from Worthington. An unlucky one really for the Northcote Tigers, kind of against the run of play, but you make your own luck, and the Seagulls deserved that one because it was a really good set in the lead up to that one. Saw a couple of big carries.
And this is going to be an extremely difficult kick, Corey, off his unnatural side, kicking into a crosswind, and way out here on the touchline side as Willie Stowers gets ready to address the ball. Fabulous day, however, the weather's great, the ground is firm, and other than a wee bit of wind, and as you can see there, the ball's just been blown off the tee. It's going, no, it's a bit chilly, I don't want to go over the post just yet.
And just as we wait for the kick here, just looking across to our right at the mini-mods, Troy, who are looking pretty excited. I think they're going to get a bit of field action at half-time, and the boys and girls looking very excited there, jumping all over the place, holding the green balloons for bowel cancer awareness. As Willie Stowers attempts this one right up against the sideline. And it will be a difficult one from out wide, so Stowers now steps in, strikes it, looks like it's going to be away to the right, and it will be away to the right and short. So the score remains the Northcote City Tigers 16, Papakura Sea Eagles 8. 8-point ball game with 5 minutes remaining in the first half here at Prince Edward Park. And Northcote to resume play off the tee.
As we get ready, if there is a presentation at halftime, we'll do that as opposed to going to the halftime file, and we'll see how that all plays out as they're trying to sort it out now. And be fair to say, the young Papakura Sea Eagles adult over there is trying to herd cats, as all the young kids want to run around and do what they want. Back to the main game, however. Big deep kick.
And the ball is loose, eventually picked up by the Sea Eagles, so they need a good set here. Do Papakura. The last time they scored points, from memory, they came up with an error at the end of it. So Wasi now gets in, hands it out the back to Footy, who takes it forward, looking for a quick play of the ball, but he gets spun around. Clever work there from the Northcote defence. Ika Hefo with another good carry. Boy, he's been good out on that left edge today.
Some good strong carries, and again, Groundhog Day for the Sea Eagles as they start grinding out inside their half. And a big shout out to Mania Homes, sponsors of the Papakura Sea Eagles.
Nice little inside ball there. Worthington's into space. He's got Dawson on his shoulder. He might have the time to go all the way, Worthington, and he will just, I think, get there. May have been a hint of a double movement at the end of it there. Boy, he was close initially, went down, but it is going to be a try. And pure wheels from Nick Worthington out the back. Look at him get clear. The cover chase, I think it was from Tully, just about gets him, evades the initial ankle tap, and then Tully gets very close, ankle taps him. At this stage, he's about a metre short and just gets up. No reach out, so it's all good, and finishes it off. So great try there from the Papakura Sea Eagles, and it all started with a nice little inside play there. And fantastic to watch that back on our slow motion replay here, courtesy of CTAS, our streaming partners.
And we're back to live action with a green sign from the red replay sign. Maybe that red replay sign could be an Auckland Blues colour for next week.
So that takes the Papakura Sea Eagles up to 12 points with kick to come. About 2 minutes remaining in the first half here. But what a finish to the half from the Papakura Sea Eagles, who were dominated for the opening 20 minutes. Northcote just rolling through them, but they've come into their own in the latter part of this half.
Coming into the halftime break now.
Yes,
and you called that early, mate. He did show a clean set of heels there. There was a lot of speed and did very, very well.
So our game clock just a little bit out there. The siren has gone, so this will be the last action of the first half. Do stay with us. We're going to have a presentation to the Bowel Cancer Association of New Zealand from the club after Willie Stowers attempts this conversion, which looked all right off the boot, but fades away to the left. So that will do us half-time here in round 16 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership, and it is the North City Northcote Tigers 16, Mania Homes Papakura Sea Eagles 12 at the break here at Prince Edward Park. We are now going to have a little bit of a presentation from the Papakura Sea Eagles Club to the Bowel Cancer Association of New Zealand as the mini-mods come onto the field and start playing rounds. So we will cut across to our presentation in a minute or two, but an interesting first half here. The first 20 minutes really all about Northcote. They got rolling through the middle, making plenty of yardage, scored the first try, and from there looked really impressive. Spent a lot of time in attacking territory, found some points at the end of it, of course. by way of the 4 tries.
Where's George?
But the Papakura Sea Eagles finished the half really well, led by, I thought, the impact of Keanu Dawson off the bench. And we are now going to hand over to Troy Hardy to have the presentation to Bowel Cancer Association of New Zealand. Over to you, Troy.
Thanks, Corey, and we're going live now with Bill and the senior committee for the Papakura Sea Eagles. And Bill, what's happening, mate?
We just, it's our honour to give a cheque for $3,000 to the Bowel Cancer Association of New Zealand, and Sarah is here to accept it on their behalf. Well done.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
No trouble.
Cheers. Okay. Yep, all good. It's like, okay, would you like to say something, young lady?
Thank you so much. This is absolute honour and a privilege. Bowel cancer doesn't get much recognition currently in New Zealand, so this money is going to go to research and raising awareness, and we're very, very grateful. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah. It's been our pleasure to help out.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff. We're going to throw back to Corey now. And Corey, you got that?
Yeah, and a big shout out to the Papakura Sea Eagles Club. What a fantastic initiative, raising the $3,000 for the Bowel Cancer Association. New Zealand, of course, is an association which is not government funded, so relies completely on the generosity of the community. So a huge gesture from the club here. And we see the green balloons, plenty of green being worn around the place today to raise awareness for the association as well. And of course, bowel cancer, an issue close with rugby league. We saw the NRL supporting that over the last couple of years. Chad Townsend, who played for the Warriors, it's one that's very close to his heart and one that he gets behind and supports as well. So great gesture from the club.
Now, just as the kids are playing in the background over there on the far side, to do with kids, the ARL Kids Summer Holiday Blast, which was put together by the football development team and the Auckland Rugby League. We're just going to catch up a little snippet of that as we get a few minutes away as the teams are in the halftime break here at the SAS Fox Memorial, round 16.
Hello everyone, we're live at the second Auckland Rugby League Holiday Clinic at the Ellerslie Rugby League Football Club, and we're going to go and talk live with Sam, one of our football development officers. We're here with Sam Cauldron from the Football Development Department. Sam, can you tell us a little bit about the holiday program and how you're tracking so far?
Yeah, no worries. So this is our first holiday clinic out at Ellerslie Eagles. So we've had 50 kids register and turn out today. We were hoping for blue skies, but we got, with the Auckland weather, got just about as good as we can get. But it's not raining, so that's a positive. The kids have come out, they're from ages 5 to 12. So a mini mod group is what we're targeting, and we're just focusing on providing the kids with a fun day pretty much they can do in the school holidays, which is centered around rugby league games and drills while having fun with their friends.
And what are some of the activities you have going on for the kids today?
So we did a couple of school rotations, so we focused on 5 major skills for them. One was catch and pass, we did grip and carry, we did some wrestling with Mr. Andy Hay, the Englishman. We did evasion and sidestepping, and we also did kicking with Vigo. So those are the skills we covered, and as you can see behind me, we're just playing now some games. So we've got tag football going on, we've got offside touch, which is a version sort of like American football where you can pass forward, and we've also got kick tennis going down on the back with Vigo.
I'm Martin Mackay, I play for Papakura and I'm under 12. My name is Tamati, I play for Papakura and I'm under 12. My name is Shane Luciazzi, I play for the Human Ravens under 11. My name is Mona Stowers, I don't play for the Human Ravens, but I only play for netball. My name is Ashton and I play for Winor and the others. Hi, I'm Callum. I'm 11 and I play for under 11s.
Got a young mum here down at the holiday clinic at the Ellerslie Rugby League Club. Can you tell us who you're down here to support today?
My 2 boys and a few of my league boys that I manage for the under.
And did you register them into this clinic today?
Yes.
And why is that?
Just to give them something to do on the holidays. big family, you know, can't afford much. So.
And you're here obviously for the day as well. You're enjoying it so far?
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I thought it was going to rain today, but I thought we'd come down and support.
Are you happy to be here today, and what do you enjoy about the holiday clinic so far?
It's really fun. My favourite activity is probably the one that we're doing currently.
And what's that?
Bull rush. Yeah, it's in the films. Yeah, I really enjoyed it so far. Bull rush is my favourite. I really enjoyed the training. I think this is so fun, and I love this game of playing bull rush. I liked it so far because I'm learning new things, and my favourite activity will probably have to be bull rush as well. I've liked it so far. My favourite activity is bull rush.
And what made you register your son into the holiday clinic?
I saw it on the ARR website and I just thought it would be an awesome opportunity for him.
And how do you think he's enjoying the clinic so far?
I think he's enjoying it immensely actually. He looks like he's having heaps of fun.
Do you know if there's a lot of other children from Glenora here today?
He's here with his friend from Glenora.
If we were to have another holiday clinic, would you encourage other children to register?
Yeah, definitely. We'd love to see one at Glenora actually.
Hint, hint.
Hint, hint.
Andy would like to see one at Glenora. Hey. And if we were to hold another holiday clinic for the kids, would you register your children again?
I sure will.
So Carly, can you tell us how you got involved with the football development department?
I've been involved with the Vulcans women's team, and I met Mary, who's one of the helpers for the ARL, and I got in touch with her. And then I got involved with the coaching clinic and the refereeing, so it's been pretty good helping out with all the children in the community.
And what are some of the activities you've been helping out with today?
Some activities is tag football, just some passing and catching drills, and kicking drills, and just anything to do with rugby league really, to help develop and grow the game. Rugby league.
Alright, boys and girls, firstly I'd just like to say a massive thank you to you guys for coming out here today. I hope you guys all had fun. Can we give a massive round of applause to our coaches?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're live here at Papakura Sea Eagles. The referee's just blowing the whistle now as we see the last of the minis down here carving it up on the #1 field. And it's Papakura Sea Eagles playing the Papakura Sea Eagles, and the little fella is in and away.
Well done, young man.
Well done, young
Beautiful
man.
try.
And he'll be happy with that as the young fella goes.